Welcome to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. This is not your typical financial radio show. As a licensed CPA, insurance agent, and investment advisory representative, Chris coaches his clients on a holistic view of financial well-being with an objective of providing a complete financial strategy to fund life's goals. Chris is here to guide you down the path to the financial serenity you deserve. Now, here's Chris Cooper.
I spend a lot of time talking about lifestyle and enjoying retirement, enjoying what you do, enjoying the life you deserve, and trying to make sure you save in order to get there so that every day can feel like Saturday and you can have a great, great time living out the lifestyle you deserve in retirement. But there's a lot of people out there that take it a step further, and they go while they're working and they go, man, I need to do something that I enjoy. I need to make sure I love the work I do each and every day. And there's plenty of people that like to go to work and like their job and get their paycheck and are very happy and fulfilled and all that good stuff. But for those folks that have a passion for going out and doing their own thing, entrepreneurial mindset, that want to get out there and take that next leap and do something that's exciting, be part of the community, and embrace that goal, that desire, that dream, that vision. We're going to talk a little bit about small business owners today, entrepreneurship, and how to figure out what you can do to turn those goals, those dreams, that passion into something that can be a blooming business that can help fund your lifestyle and really have fun doing it in the process. And that's what's so fun about working with business owners. Business owners have the ability to get out there and take and create something that is theirs. And it's really cool. It's really cool. They're very passionate about what they bring to the table. And I know this firsthand because I'm a business owner myself, right? I spent a lot of time in the corporate world. I learned a lot in the corporate world, a lot about strategy, a lot about finance, a lot about corporations, what I liked a lot about companies, but also what I didn't like. And when you have the ability to take those life lessons and then turn it into a passion and a career that really you're proud of and help people in the process, oh my gosh, it's great. It is so fun. And the conversations I get to have with business owners are really engaging and interesting because you learn about what makes them tick. You learn about the expertise they have, the skills they bring to the table in their field of expertise, but then also what makes them unique and different, right? And that's what's so cool. And I highly encourage listeners to get out there and support a local business owner. And it's not just some small business that, is, a retail shop necessarily. They're out there too. But there's a lot of small businesses out there. There's a lot of business owners out there. Okay. Real estate agents, law firms, myself, I'm a financial professional, right? Businesses are all over the place. And in my opinion, the level of service and the expertise you get when you work with somebody that is more focused on their own brand, their own image, what's important to them, what they're looking to get out of, and the passion they bring to things, man, does it change. It changes the level of service you receive. And I'm a huge supporter of business ownership. I think it's great, and it's changed my life. I can tell you that much because I enjoy what I do. I enjoy going to work each and every day and helping the people I help. And I could not do that the same way in corporate world. I could not do that working for a big company. I needed to get out and I needed to make sure I could help individuals the way I felt like it was important to help them, focusing on that relationship. And that's what I think small business owners do very, very well. That relationship, that customer-centric focus that quite frankly, we've lost sight of in this country. And it's kind of unfortunate because service, in my opinion, is absolutely key. And we've gone to 1-800 blah, blah, blah phone numbers, right? 401k statements is a perfect example. 1-800 blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It's cookie cutter advice. It's a laundry list of, mutual fund options. No true strategic value, okay? This is true of many segments in our business ownership community. Right? Whatever it is, if you can find an area where you can find a local expert to help become that customer service oriented relationship for you, I think it makes a big difference. I think it makes a big difference in the problems they can solve. And I think it also makes a big difference in the passion and the education and the expertise these people bring to the table. So highly encourage you, reach out, find some local business owners, and I think you're going to be appreciative of the customer service you're going to get. In fact, our next segment is going to feature one local business owner doing something really, really cool, and we're excited to have him in studio. So stay tuned, and you'll get to hear from Caleb with Diamond G Hat Company here in a minute.
You're listening to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Request a free copy of Chris's latest book, The New Holistic Retirement, by visiting SerenityNowTax.com. That's SerenityNowTax.com.
Who's ready for some fun? I know I am. I love doing our monthly socials. And for the month of November, we are hosting a very special event. It is going to be cowboy themed fall social November 7th, taking place over at the Serenity Wealth Now office in Winghaven. We are going to have a lot of fun. Cowboy themed, like I said, we've got a Yellowstone premiere coming up, right? That is the series finale for the Yellowstone show coming up that weekend. So we're going to be well prepared by having a little get together, focusing on a Western cowboy themed event. Best dressed cowboy, cowgirl prizes. We're going to make sure we have some whiskey tastings taking place as well. So that's always going to be fun. We are also going to have a gentleman named Caleb in the house with Diamond G Hat Company making custom cowboy hats, custom fit cowboy hats for those folks in attendance. A portion of hat proceeds will be going towards a local Parkinson's Foundation. So really excited about that. Always good to give back and have some fun in the process. So make sure you check out our Facebook page, SerenityWealthNow.com. Register in advance. Let us know you're going to be there. Bring family, bring friends. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. So we will see you there. Serenity Wealth Now on Facebook for registration information.
Hi, it's Vic Porcelli. You're listening to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper on 101.9 and 94.1 NewsTalk STL.
All right, so in studio with me right now, we got Caleb Geuns of Diamond G Hat Company. Caleb, how are you?
Doing great. Great time to be here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. We're going to talk a little bit about your business, and I'm going to kick it off with Caleb Geuns. Is this why you decided to get into a business making cowboy hats for a living?
With that last name?
Yes.
No, but coincidentally, it all works out, right? I think in the end, I don't know if it gives me any credibility because I'm just another face behind a hat shaping bar, but yeah, it definitely doesn't hurt any either.
It's got to help, man. You know, has to in some way.
It's a rural thing at that point.
So how did you figure out that you wanted to get into business making custom cowboy hats?
Yeah, I've always been pretty entrepreneurial, and I've had a really wandering career path where working marketing for Red Bull for 5 years. I've been in sales. Multiple generations of my family have been in sales, and now I find myself in an executive sales role with a pretty large company. And, over the last couple of years, I always had that entrepreneurial itch.
Yeah.
I started noticing the reemergence of Western wear, and I grew up on a farm in northwestern Illinois, and I have a very young core memory of my father shaping a cowboy hat over a teapot. I actually saw the teapot here a couple of weeks ago when I was at their house.
Nice.
Like, you still have that.
You should incorporate that into.
That'll be in his estate planning from now on. I want that teapot. And so it started to strike a chord with me. And as I traveled with my other job, I started to ask people when I saw them in their hat, hey, where'd you get that? And I started to realize that most people remember where they got their hat, how much they paid, where the scar, the stain came from on it. And it's the experience of owning the hat more than the actual hat.
Sure.
I said, that kind of adds up to a nice little experiential purchase. And can we look at that from a business standpoint? And I started to find other people that are doing it in different parts of the country and sought them out. Started to, mentor relationships with them. And since we've decided to actually put both feet in and go after it, it's just been a tremendous growth. And people really are invested not only in what we're selling as a product, but who we are and what our family and our company stands for. And really, the Diamond G, the G is our last name.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important. We put our name on our product, and you're not just buying a hat from us. You're buying kind of a portion of our family with it. So
no, that's cool. So, all right. So I am a admitted cowboy hat novice. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the difference between a quality cowboy hat, custom fit to you, what's the difference between that and just saying, go to the store and pick something up,
Well, I mean, you said it right there, custom.
Yeah.
And so everybody has a little bit of a different head shape. And the worst thing you could get in our field is a hat that doesn't fit right. So whether it's digging into the front of your forehead or you have these big gaps on the side because it's oversized. And so having that one-on-one, we've been calling it like a bespoke appointment with somebody that actually knows the industry and how to fit you properly. It all starts with the fit. And then we, take those hats and we'll start to tailor them to your face shape. We'll give you suggestions on the shape that would fit you best if you already have something in mind. And so when you walk out of an experience with us, not only did you get a hat, but it's completely unique to you, your taste, and it's going to stand up. I mean, we talk about quality a little bit. We sell from, what we call an X system in the hat world. The more X's, the higher the quality. So we'll start at a 2X, which is basically like a wool hat. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with them. You just don't want to wear them out like a hurricane. But you're going to dinner once a month. You want to wear it like that, a concert, those types of things. Okay. Totally a perfect fit for that. And we also carry a 5X, which is like a rabbit, like a wild hare. Okay. And then we go up into beaver. 100X generally is where you're 100% beaver. And beaver's kind of like the top of the line. Some places will sell a mink hat as well. It's diminishing returns for the dollars invested. But really those 100X, they're super nice. If you want that type of status symbol, we can more than help you with that. But it's really it's not just a status symbol. It's for the working cowboy.
I was going to say, this is what the working ranch cowboys wear because they're out in all elements.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of people I know that have purchased these 100X hats that they wear that hat every day for a year. And then on the next year, they get a new one because you could drive a truck over that 100X hat. You could wear it in the rain every day and I can still bring it back to looking really good really quickly because they're just so resilient the way that the beaver hair works.
It's when that's what part of your attire for work, for your job, it changes everything, right?
It's your uniform. It's not a style thing. It's like, this is functionally what's best for what I have ahead of me.
So, because of, for me, what I do for a living, every now and then I host the radio show, but I do a lot of financial conversations. I'm probably not doing that in the rain. So I'm probably okay in the 2X.
It's a 2X. I mean, I'd like to try and upsell you, but let's make sure it's the right fit, for the function. And I think a 2X would fit you pretty well for your concerts and your dinners.
There you go. So, and then what I think is interesting too is I always look at different styles and different feels, and you can change that along the way too to help somebody's fit what they're looking for, but also their structure as well.
Yeah. I mean, we look at body type. So we start with brims, right? Like, so we get in like from the 5X on up, we get in what's called an open crown. So the brim is completely flat. The crown is rounded over like a dome. Looks like a Mountie hat or whatever. And we will then start to shape it down and make sure it fits you correctly. Okay. But everything starts with this blank slate, the open crown. Well, on a petite woman, we get these open crowns in. They have a 4.5-inch brim. A petite woman, a 4-inch brim is about as max as what we want to go, right? Yeah. We want to keep that brim inside the shoulder. So we really, it's a little bit of an art, right? Yeah. You want to fit it on a man that's maybe got a fuller face or a bigger guy. We want a higher crown because it helps like kind of elongate them, So there's little niches back and forth. And of course, there's always just good old standby shaping, shapes that we can put on people. So like the cattleman crown is like the infamous, Kevin Costner in Yellowstone. Like that's when you think cowboy, you think that shape.
Yep. Well, new season coming out here soon.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited for that.
It's always fun to watch.
I don't know what it'll do for our business, but I'm excited. But 80% of the hats we make are probably very similar in shape because everybody has that idea of this is what a cowboy hat looks like. Right. And the other 20% are all over the board we have a very specific shape for like our rough stock rodeo athletes. Like we have a bunch of like rodeo cowboys that come to us to get their hats done.
Very cool.
And they have a little bit different of a shape. And then of course, like we have a good amount of women that come through that want like Western, but more like boho Joshua Tree feeling California Western. And that's a completely different shape, like a diamond crown with like just a subtle dip in the front and some slope in the back. And it really is, kind of getting a vibe for each person's style and what they're going to be doing in it. Yeah.
So what do you do a lot of events and stuff too, you guys? Because I've seen your truck; it's really cool. So you guys go out to a lot of events in the area.
Yeah, we do the bespoke appointments, obviously, but really we look at the events. We do a ton of events. And that really is brand building for us. Yeah. So it's getting our name out there. It's brand awareness driver. obviously a lot of revenue comes from that versus the bespoke appointments that are one-off. But
Sure.
we take a lot of time with each person that wants an appointment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at one point, I think in like August, I turned to my wife and I said, I think we could be gone every weekend if it was not something that'd be like, I want to be home for the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, the demand is really high. And for the most part, we've stayed super regional here to the St. Louis metro area. Outside of a couple of times, we've stayed within like an hour, and we've stayed very busy.
Well, it seems like there's getting to be more rodeo type of activity around this area. And maybe it was always there, but it's gotten more popular. Or maybe I'm just becoming more aware of it.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Your algorithm has driven you that way. But,
dang.
But yeah, I mean, I think like this year we did the Busch Distillery Rodeo Series down in Defiance. And
that's a fun series.
Right. And that was like their first year doing it. But I think every week or every month they did it. It was the first Friday every month. I think it was over 1,000 people each time, you know, and it was always a different crowd because people want that opportunity. I think deep down we all have this nostalgia of what Missouri and America and the American West used to be.
Well, especially in today's world, right? It's so easy to get caught up in all the other nonsense, getting back to what we think more simpler time.
Yeah, it's just a quiet... A night without technology where you can take your family out to it and it's good, clean humor and entertainment. Yeah. And you're seeing these guys that are doing something that it seems very like superhuman. It's just like a departure from like your every night, you know, it's nice. It's fun. Yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot of fun times hanging out there too.
Yeah. And we've met some of the greatest people. I mean, some of the people we've met through a summer of touring through all these places is just lifelong friends already in a short amount of time and would do anything to help us and vice versa. It's been awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you got started with this vision, figuring out from the fashion perspective. And is this kind of where you're expecting things continue to progress?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the trends right now, you know, we can take a step back. I put a lot of time into the planning of this. I mentioned how I was very entrepreneurial, but I was very risk adverse. So I had all these ideas, but I would never jump over, you know, the previous 20 years of my adult life. And I really put all of the skills that I gained from previous career stops in play here. So we did a SWOT analysis. Does this look right?
Nice. SWOT analysis.
Yeah. It's like business 101.
Fun stuff right
business
here.
101. And does this look right and viable? And then when I decided it was and why it wasn't just the fashion around here. It was also the fact that there is a strong Western culture that runs through here. So trends could go up and down. And I think our business won't fluctuate very much because of the way we deliver our product.
Well, you're focusing on quality, you're focusing on experience. And I think that those things make a big difference to people.
Right. And then we've set ourselves up with very conservative growth goals, for better or worse. I mean, I think, you know, people have asked, well, how are you doing versus, you know, your business plan? Because you've mentioned you've done that, which I did do that. And I think that's important for any small business owner is to sit down. I did, and it doesn't have to be like a 40-page business plan.
Right.
I did like an 8-page executive summary business plan. And then the greatest thing I could have done, I farmed it out to a bunch of people that I value their opinions that have some sort of like stake in some sort of business or organization. And I had one of my friends through previous networking that is an adjunct at Harvard. And I was like, hey, this is shooting for the moon, but can you look at this? And that was really like, sometimes you need a little validation. And when I got the feedback from him, like, if you follow this, I don't know how it would be unsuccessful. Yeah. Considering where you are in the country. And, so after that, we put I put a 5-year.
Well, when you're the business owner, it's I.
It's all of us. There's a lot of voices in my head that are driving that. I did a 5-year roadmap by quarter of objectives I thought that we would need to hit to get to the ultimate goal of where we want to be in 5 years. And as of today, we're like 2 years ahead of schedule.
Very cool.
And so we're really trucking, and we're entering that Q4 as a small business owner. This shouldn't totally be about the Black Friday push and I got to get the books. It's really like evaluating where you're going next year. Yeah. And I have an apprentice that, you know, works with us, and her and I are going to sit down actually next week, and we go through the business plan that was originally laid out. Where have we deviated? Where do we need to focus more efforts on? The 5-year roadmap will come out. We'll check off the boxes of the one we've done. It doesn't mean that it's just done. It's time to add.
That's right.
It's a rolling 5 years. So
it
where
always
are we going?
is. Yeah.
And so I'm excited more about the planning for 2025 already. But I think that as a small business owner, it's easy to get stuck in the day-to-day tactical.
100%.
Where you kind of have to have that strategic mind of how to move forward.
Right. Well, at the same time, it's always about the fun, right? I mean, that's the passion that you're bringing to it is why it's engaging. You don't really work a day in your life if you're enjoying what you're doing. I think that's a big difference.
Yeah, if you're in front of the customers, like we spoke before we came on air about how I had an event this week that was very intense. And through that whole time, I don't think at any point I thought, oh, this is horrible. You know, like I was laughing, I was smiling, I was enjoying all of it, because all of the behind the scenes work, that's work.
Yeah.
Getting in front of everybody and putting on the show, that's fun. And just meeting people and shaking hands. And, you know, that's one thing I really pride myself on, is after each hat that I shape and the transaction's done, we make sure, you know, I shake the person's hand and thank them.
Yeah.
You know, look them in the eye, take off the hat if you're going to shake the woman's hand, you know, that type of stuff.
And you do too. That's happened. I've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to wear the hat, you got to start walking.
I'm going to need the rule cards. I don't know these rules. It's not because I don't want to follow them. It's just because I'm ignorant.
If you talk to my wife, I'm like a puppy. If you train me right once, do it forever. So, we try to help educate people that are like, you know, I've never owned a hat. Well, that's great. Let me tell you some of the ground rules. And the biggest one, you just got to own it. When you put that hat on, you're going to be like, do I look goofy, or am I knocking around? You might knock it on like something, getting in the car or something. Just own it.
I like it.
And people won't even think twice about it.
Yeah. Very cool. So have you gotten to the point where you've seen your hats out there at events that, you know, you're just going to as a concert, and all of a sudden, hey, that's one of mine?
So yes and no.
Okay.
So I've seen them at a rodeo.
Yeah.
I've seen customers at a lot of places.
Yeah.
Like, hey, and you know, I think we're small business enough. I remember most people. And I've seen one at a concert. Now, one of the quantitative goals is that I would love to go to a concert in the region and look out over the crowd and see because all of our hats we send out with our badge on the back of it.
Yeah.
And even if somebody takes that off, I can usually tell which ones I've shaped.
Sure.
So that's kind of like something I will probably cry like a baby when that happens, but I think it'll be really exciting, you know?
Absolutely. Well, the passion you bring into it, and that's what makes things successful. So
yeah, you gotta, you gotta stay humble. And at the same time, like, I know for me personally, my family, like, we can't downplay the fact that, like, how much of a role God's had in our path. And, at the same time, like, you know, all of this is just because I kept saying yes. Like, the opportunities come to us. I think about it. Generally, I have a good idea if it's the right fit, but just keep saying yes, because God's bringing those opportunities to us for a reason.
I love it. Well, cool. I know we are doing an event with you here on the 7th of November, and we're looking forward to it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks for coming in. Thanks for participating, and I'm really looking forward to having my own custom hat, too, because I don't have one yet.
Super excited for it. Thank you for having me today.
All right, bud.
You're listening to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Request a free copy of Chris's latest book, The New Holistic Retirement, by visiting SerenityNowTax.com. That's SerenityNowTax.com.
So to learn more about Diamond G Hat Company, all you got to do is go to Facebook or Instagram. They are all over social media, so just check them out, Diamond G Hat Company. They've got all kinds of informational videos out there showing the shape fitting process they go through. It is 100% customized to fit your head, and I think that's what's so cool. They can give you the ability to choose your own color. Then from there, you figure out the different shape that makes sense for you, what you're looking for. Doesn't make sense with your body shape, right? That's always incredibly important. And so the expertise they bring into it to get you a one-of-a-kind hat, and I think that's just what's super fun about this. Local company making things that they are passionate about for people in our community. They're at a lot of events, so you can see where they're going to be, where they've been, and check it out. They've got a lot of cool content as well. So visit my buddy Caleb, Diamond G Hat Company. It's Facebook, Instagram, and make sure you can reach out right there. If you've got a cool project that you have that you want to make sure you can see it come to life, send him a picture, send him an image of what you're looking for, start that dialogue, that conversation, and he'll make sure he gets you taken care of. That's Diamond G Hat Company on Facebook and Instagram.
This is Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper.
All right, so business ownership, it is awesome. It is so fun talking to business owners and how passionate they are about their company. If you really want to make sure you get good customer service, talk to somebody who actually has their own company, has their own brand that they represent on a day-to-day basis. These folks will take better care of you than somebody that just works for somebody else. Okay, that perspective, that passion, that drive to show customers and members of the community what it's about is so important. And I know this because I live this each and every day. I am very proud of the Serenity Wealth brand. Very proud of what we do. I enjoy it each and every day. I don't look at my job, my work as a job. I don't. It is not a job because I enjoy it. It's also fun for me, okay? I take the skill set I bring to the table and all the expertise that I've had over the years, and I've made it into something that I enjoy doing each and every day. And that's what business ownership's all about. So it's really cool. I absolutely love helping business owners, and it's not always easy. We have to understand that there are unique challenges. So one of the questions I always get asked about from business owners is, how do you get started, right? We have these passions. We want to do something that's unique. I always tell people, find that niche and run with it. Okay. Find that thing that makes you happy. Find what makes sense for you, and see if other people, agree, right? Caleb talked a little bit about business planning. You cannot overlook this aspect, right? Just because it's a cool idea doesn't mean that other people think it's a cool idea. At the end of the day, in order to make something that's fun and enjoyable, you still have to make a living too, right? You do. And you can do all these things and serve the community and be proud of the brand that you recognize and you represent. But you got to make sure that you can find those customers out there as well. Those customers that are right for you. And that's okay. You don't have to be right for everybody. But you want to make sure that you can relate to those people in your network that makes sense for you. Okay. So plan ahead, plan in advance. Owning a business is not for everybody. And it is not cheap. Okay. It's not cheap. It's not one of these, if you build it, they will come kind of things. No, you have to make sure you have some capital to do that. There's a lot of ways to do that. Okay. You can get bank loans. You can do small business loans. They do exist. Okay. There's opportunities to create things from, 401k vehicles and do some, creative things there that I've talked to people about. They all have their pros and cons, but it does take some money to do some startup things, and every business is a little bit different. But if you can stick with it and you can be passionate about it, you can find the people that work for you, you can enjoy each and every day you have, and earn a good living at the same point in time. And the fun thing is, at some point in time, it really does become something that's like, it's just like clockwork. It doesn't feel like a job, but you're going to be okay. And it's not right away on day one. Okay. But it does tend to happen. So one of the other questions I get is, gosh, Chris, I don't have a 401k anymore, right? I have my own business, right? So how do I save for retirement? Well, it's interesting, right? We save in this country. One of the very first things that people think of with how do you save for retirement? It's a 401k, right? It's my company offers this plan. I contribute a certain amount of money, get a tax deduction typically for doing it, which I'm not really sure is the right way to do it, by the way. And then you get a company match. Well, what if you're a small business owner? If you're a small business owner, that company match, I call it the free money, right? Because if you're a W-2 employee and you work for a company, you get, 6%, you give 6%, you might get a 6% company match. That's kind of free money, right? But if you're a small business owner, you don't have that. The reason I say that is because, sure, you can do a 401k, but who's doing the match? You're doing the match if you're a business owner. You're not really matching anything other than just contributing more. You're contributing your company's share of your match. And is that the right strategy for you? Is that the right strategy for business owners? Business owners need to think a little bit different, right? We have to think about our business growth, right? When you're investing in the stock market, technically you're investing in other companies, other businesses. Well, if you're a business owner, who do you want to be investing in? Yourself as the CEO or somebody else, right? So we have to think a little bit different from a business ownership perspective. How we save for retirement, how we save for our future. We have to think about how we invest in our business and how it all comes together. Okay. So there's a lot of taxation issues that come along with business ownership, right? A lot of protection issues as well. What happens if your business, if you're not around for your business, right? That's a protection issue. That's a family concern issue, a legacy issue, right? What happens if your partner passes away, right? Are you going to buy that family out? Those are concerns we have to think about. Also, how do you save for the future? We still need to save. Is a 401k, opening a 401k the right thing for you? Are there other vehicles? There might be. There just might be. And those are things we talk about with small business owners. It is a wonderful conversation, but most importantly, it's about figuring out and learning about how those businesses turned the skill set they bring to the table into a passion that they deliver to the community and the clients they serve each and every day.
This is Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Request a free copy of Chris's latest book, The New Holistic Retirement, by visiting SerenityNowTax.com. That's SerenityNowTax.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.